Well, hey, Beer Busters listener there. This is not how we normally start an episode, but we have something that we need to address before we get into the excitement that is coming down very shortly to your ears with Brooks Hemauer and his brewery. You may remember there was a documentary that was based all around the beer scene in the state of Pennsylvania. It was called, as you may remember, Poured in PA. Well, now there is a series. So what we wanted to do is to bring you the information and get the real scoop as to what you can expect from Poured in PA, this series. So that means we have the one, the only, Nate Kresge, the co-owner of GK Visual with us. Nate, how are you, man?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us about this. This is very exciting.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's extra exciting because unlike the documentary, all of us are in it. Steph was in the documentary before. So I think this is my on-screen debut. Like my
official...
you're
you're in the series.
No, that's what I meant. We're in this. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about this right now.
No,
yeah.
we were not in the documentary, but now we are in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's exciting. This is my debut. This is my big break. I'm counting on you, Nate, to make me famous from this. You don't need to answer that.
Hey, I already did my part. I just need you guys. You did what you were going to do. We'll leave it up to the viewers.
Fair enough. I will say, I appreciate that. We all looked pretty good on camera, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. The camera did not add the 10 pounds I was told it would.
But enough about us.
Yes, enough about us. So this is big. You know, right now it's currently on YouTube. The plan is for it to end up on Amazon. But I guess we should start at the beginning. What was the decision behind doing a series rather than just keeping it at the documentary?
Yeah, I mean, for anybody that's seen the documentary and is keeping up to date on things, as soon as we put that out, things changed. So, brewers went to different breweries. We've even had some of the organizations in the film close. So things change right away. So that's really just a timestamp in Pennsylvania's craft beer story. With that said, we were trying to figure out, do we keep updating the film? That just seems dumb. And we love the idea of a TV series. And so almost immediately after the film was launched, we started shooting for the series. And we didn't want to just do another very dry documentary style, here's the story of craft beer again. So what we did here with the series is we started following stories, and each episode you'll find will have, anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 stories within an episode. And these things range the gamut of topics. We have everything from, beer festivals to including you guys in an episode where we talk about the industry that promotes Pennsylvania beer, the industry behind the industry, and breweries that are catering to, kids with programs for them and dogs. And we even have a vacation that you could take to the Shawnee Inn and craft brewery. So it's just a wide range of topics, and we're going to keep doing this and keep finding these little niche stories.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned about the wanting to update the documentary, because it wasn't long after it came out that a lot of things had changed. And so a series makes sense, and I think it's really cool. And I don't know anything else quite like it that I've come across, and the fact that it's, in our backyard with people we know is pretty awesome. But as far as timeline, how much of a shift was it for you to move from like a film production schedule to now I know it's been like released in the binge format that most things are released now, where it's all kind of come out at once. But to move to a more like TV style production schedule, were you trying to turn it around quicker?
It was tough. I think we didn't quite realize what we're getting into with this, and we wanted to keep the production level just as high as the film. And so we spent a lot of time on this. I mean, we had things shot, and it took us forever to get it all edited. And so we kept telling people, oh, it'll be out by this date. It'll be out by this date. And we just, we're a video production company, so this isn't the only thing we do. We have other jobs coming in and the clients that we need to keep happy. So it just kept being delayed and delayed and delayed. Well, blessing and a curse, I guess, COVID struck, and we were all forced to work from home, and that kind of shut off all our other work. So we're like, well, might as well finish up the series. And so we got it done. And we wanted to launch a few episodes to start off with, especially during this time when people were at home and wanted to binge. So that's what we did. But moving forward, I think we're going to be releasing these as they're done to try to keep up with the time and keep things a little bit more current than waiting until another batch is done.
A lot of times when you see coverage of Pennsylvania craft beer, it's centered around Philadelphia having the reputation of being one of the best beer cities in the country. But the 5 episodes that you guys have released so far mainly spotlight central and western Pennsylvania beer scene, which I found refreshing. Was that purposeful, or do you plan to also touch on Philadelphia in the future?
Well, I mean, Evil Genius is definitely in there too. So we're trying to spread it out across the state. Our travels, we're going to follow the story. So as stories present themselves and they're something that we're able to produce and shoot, we will. And we made up to the northeast to the Poconos too. So we're just trying to hit every corner. I know this one was probably a little more heavy on Pittsburgh. We had been out there for a bit and we were able to get a bunch of stories there. And then, with Central Pennsylvania being our backyard, that was easier for us to get some stuff done to get the series out. But yeah, I mean, we want to travel the whole state for sure. And try to find some more of these niche stories and maybe breweries you haven't heard of. Just because we go out to Pittsburgh doesn't mean we have to. And this is no offense to these breweries, but we don't have to go to the Brew Gentleman. We don't have to go to Dancing Gnome and stuff like that. So we went to Rusty Gold, and I don't know how many of your listeners have even heard of Rusty Gold before, but what a cool little brewery there tucked away in Western Pennsylvania. So we're going to try to do more of that type of a thing.
I really loved episode 1. I had never heard of Fresh Fest, and I want to go very, very badly now. And I want to be a part of that scene and meet those people. Can you talk about like the energy and how amazing that must have been to attend that first fest?
Yeah, I mean, Fresh Fest is unlike anything I've ever been to before. And I was fortunate enough, I became friends with the Harris family guys and just kind of followed their story. And, as Fresh Fest kind of came on the map, I met Mike Potter, who is one of the organizers behind Fresh Fest, at an event with the Harris family guys. And, just he was telling me about what he's doing, and it's just so cool. So the first year we set up a table to sell merch, and I didn't know what we were getting into. And it was the coolest beer festival I've ever been to. I mean, sure, beer was there and that it was still focused, but people were like just trying to like run from table to table. They're sitting there having conversations. They're enjoying their beer. They're getting along. I mean, you look out into the sea of people and it's everybody. I mean, it's not just the bearded white guy like me here. So that was refreshing and just a relaxed atmosphere. So I'm like, we need to be there next year. We need to cover this. And that was even before I knew we were going to do a series. I just wanted to cover Fresh Fest. So year 2 rolled around, 2019, and we were there. And it was pretty much just myself and had an assistant. And I just, ran around with the camera like crazy. I didn't get to drink as much as I wanted to this past time. But it was so much fun. And it didn't make the episode, but I did have an interview with Garrett Oliver. I had some audio issues there, but he said, look around. And he's like, this is what America looks like. And there's no reason that, the beer community shouldn't look like America. And it just resonated with me and it stuck with me ever since.
I got to interview Garrett Oliver at Meeting of the Malts, and it was probably one of the most memorable interviews I've ever done in the 7 years of doing the podcast. He's an amazing person in the industry.
Also probably the best
absolutely.
Dressed person that you've ever interviewed.
Amen.
Yeah, you mentioned that you had a segment there that unfortunately you weren't able to include. Do you have footage or things that you've already gone out and captured that will be coming up in future episodes, or have you pretty much covered everything and now it's a matter of going out and capturing more things for the next time?
Yeah, we probably have about another 2 or 3 episodes worth of stories already shot. And I'd say about half of those are edited. So, I mean, be looking for new episodes here. Hopefully, midsummer easily. And what you'll find there, it's going to be a mix. Some of these episodes were shot pre-COVID-19. So you're going to see the regular beer festival, full bar, people with no masks. And then we have stories of how the breweries are adapting and what they've done during this time. And those are, we did this through Skype, and we had to get creative with what footage we used and did things there. So look for, in that we'll talk to Deer Creek Malt and see how they pivoted with, sales with, you can get your own pancake mix and pizza making kit and things like that. And we talked to Hemauer, you talked to him too. He opened during this time. I mean, what a crazy time to open your brewery. So it's a mix of cool little stories and just seeing how everybody adapted.
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness. A lot of people are going different ways with it, and there's a lot of creativity in the industry. I didn't know about the pancake mix and the pizza mix. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can go on there. He has beers. The guys have beers on their thing that you can order. I think I got cornbread mix, pancake mix, pizza dough mix. It's so cool.
Oh my god.
And homebrew kit too.
That's cool. It's kind of slightly reminiscent of like Prohibition, when like alcohol companies had to pivot to other things to stay in
That's
business.
a really good comparison.
Although now you can also still sell the beer. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just
yeah,
like having people be able.
And that's another story we would follow. Obviously some breweries were shipping beer prior to this, but that's been a whole shift. How do you get the beer into people's hands? So, doing delivery and shipping beer, more and more breweries we're seeing jump on that bandwagon. So it's been cool to see that. So we cover that as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously the whole situation with COVID and everything is not fun for anyone. But it'll be interesting to see now, as we start to come out of it, how the story of the beer industry is going to change. Like we've been talking a lot about, probably these places that have done delivery that never did it before, there's no reason for them to stop, because customers love it. So this is a whole new thing that nobody would have predicted that's going to have an effect on a lot of things, but it's going to be interesting to see the effect it has on the beer industry. And it'll be awesome to have you guys there with your cameras to document it all, that now we can follow along. That's awesome.
Well, it's been cool even seeing online on Facebook people posting pictures of beers that they've never even heard of, or breweries that they've never heard of before, and they're like, "I got this shipped because I just wanted to try." I'm like, "How cool is that now? Like, you can have beers shipped to your front door and try them." And the laws, I guess, were in place prior to all this, but nobody really saw the need. I mean, Levante was doing it. I guess Tired Hands was doing it, but that was, I think, about it.
Yeah, just about. And now it seems to be almost everybody is.
Yeah, you used to have to rely on beer traders and beer trading Facebook groups to get that kind of stuff. So that's cool.
And lying at the post office, telling them, no, it's not. There's no liquid in there.
There's nothing. No perishables in here.
Yeah, right. You're only buying the bottle, not the contents.
Oh,
Here's my hot sauce. Make sure it gets there safely.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
So we'd mentioned earlier at the top of it when I was, introducing you to the crowd, that right now the series is available on YouTube as of this recording, but the plan is that it will be on Amazon, much like the documentary is.
Yeah. So, our goal the whole time was to put it up on Amazon, just like the film's on there, Amazon Prime. And just like everything else, there's been delays with everything. And so when we got everything up to Amazon, they require about 4 days of processing time to run it through their quality control. We had it up there and then nothing was happening. And so we started digging a little deeper and looking through, message boards and things, and other filmmakers ran into the same problem. And it looks like the backlog is like a month or two. And I was just stunned. I'm like, there's no way we can wait another month or two with some of these stories. We need to get them out. So we'll put them on YouTube. And I think the response has been really great with YouTube, and people have been able to share it a little easier, I think. Once things get pushed through Amazon, it will be up there. So people that have their Prime accounts and are ready to watch on their TV. But I guess you can watch on your TV now with YouTube too. So however you want to watch it, you'll soon be able to watch it both places.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to leave it on YouTube once it hits Amazon?
I think the first 5 episodes we'll leave there. Beyond that, I don't know if we'll start posting everything past those first 5 to Amazon. That's unclear. I think a lot of it's going to depend on how quickly Amazon moves. So if the delay continues to be a couple months, some of these stories are so timely that we want to try to get them out as quickly as possible. So YouTube might be the option then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was actually wondering, as we're talking about this, there's no kind of agreement with Amazon that says you can't post it on other platforms? Like, you're free to just...
No, so the cool thing with Amazon, you can self-publish. So that's what we're doing here. And they just have some more rigorous quality control issues and things you got to adhere to than, say, posting to Facebook
so
or YouTube.
You couldn't post like your vlog on your phone to Amazon Prime like you could on YouTube.
I don't. I mean, you might be able to, but you really got to make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's with that one.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I think YouTube's a great platform. I mean, personally, I think it would be worthwhile to continue posting it there, especially being concerned about it being timely. Even if it's published on YouTube and Amazon at the same time, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I feel like it's a good platform for that sort of immediacy.
Yeah, as a filmmaker, I mean, the quality of YouTube's a little diminished compared to Amazon. So, that's where I got to swallow my pride a little bit on that and just let it, beer's beer, and you need to see it all pretty, I don't know. But I was watching on my TV earlier tonight on YouTube, and I thought it looked pretty good. So I'm not complaining too much.
Yeah, I feel like they've done a lot to make sure that they've got good quality on there. But you're right, it's kind of, you run the gamut of the quality of the content as well as the production on YouTube, whereas Amazon, I didn't know you could self-publish on there, but everything I've seen on Amazon Prime has been good production value, where, it looks like it could be a theatrical film release or a network series or something. Like they're holding their own, which is great that you guys are on there and have that platform. But YouTube, for the immediacy, I think that was the right move.
It was one of those things that when you have something stuck in your mind, this is the way to do it, and then you have to pivot, you second yourself. But I've been happy with the results.
You say you have a couple more episodes worth of stories to tell right now before you sort of turn around and start producing the next batch. Can you give us a little taste of what's going to be coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the stuff that we shot prior to the pandemic that hasn't been completed yet, we did a story on Alison Feeney. She's a professor at Shippensburg University, has a really cool beer program there. So we followed that a little bit. We talked to the guys that organized Liddit's Craft Beer Festival, and we have that story. And things like that are going to be interesting, so beer festivals, I think, are going to look completely different. So we're kind of faced with, well, do we follow that story up and talk to those guys again and see what's next for them, or do we put it out as is? So we're wrestling with that. Pink Boot Society, we followed the Brew Day before all this happened. So we were in Harrisburg, Philly, and Pittsburgh for that. That's a story that we're going to try to wrap up here. So that's all pre-COVID stuff. We were working with Carol Stout, and we had another great interview with her to kind of catch up with what the plans were after she retired, but didn't really retire, and what she was thinking. So now I'm curious if that's outdated again. Like, I don't know. I don't know what her thoughts are now. So those are some of the stories that are kind of in limbo. Oh, we did the farm show judging too. We followed that whole story with the brewers that entered beer there. And then with the stuff that's been during the pandemic here, we talked to a couple breweries about, interesting marketing things that they've done and delivery options. And I think somebody had like a COVID survival pack that they were promoting. Somebody even had a drive-through through their brewery. So instead of having to even do curbside pick it, you could drive right into the brewery. You pop the trunk, they pop it in your car, and there you go. So just cool little stories like that.
Do you think you're going to end up doing seasons of the series, or is it just going to be as you feel like the story is complete and then needs to be told, you're just going to keep releasing on a contingency basis, more or less?
Yeah, I think so. 2020 will be our first season. So whatever we end up being able to crank out this year will be season 1. Funding is always the interesting thing here. So if we can get funding for another season or another year, we'll definitely continue it. We were able to get some grant money for this through the Department of Tourism and also the Beer Marketing Board from Pennsylvania. And so with that money, I'll tell you what, as a filmmaker, it's one of the first times we had a project completely funded, which has been awesome. So assuming we can do that again, we'll keep this up.
Well, if people do want to watch it, they can go on YouTube. Is the channel just GK Visual or Important PA?
Important PA or Important Pennsylvania. Either, I think we'll get you there.
Cool. And I'm guessing details are probably available on the website as well, portantpa.com.
Yes, that's correct. Yep. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all Important PA.
Very cool. And if people want to find out about GK Visual, there's also gkvisual.com. I know there's not a whole lot of filming that can be done currently, but for anybody who needs filming needs in the future in the central-ish Pennsylvania area, you got your guy right here.
Although don't tie them up too much with other projects, because I really want to see this Port and PA series continue.
Well, of course.
So I don't want them to get too busy with other stuff, because I want to see more of this. But yeah, like we said, it's going to be coming to Amazon. We're about a week out from when this is going to be published from the time we're talking to you, so possibly something has moved in that space. So if you're on Amazon Prime, check it out. Keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, keep checking our social media. We'll announce that as soon as it pops up there, so you can check it out there too. And I'm going to give you guys a plug for episode 5. You can see all their smiling faces here. In episode 5, talking about the promotion of beer.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was
a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having us as part of that. Well, Nate, we can't thank you enough for taking the time with us.
Oh, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
And hopefully once this is once COVID's behind us, at some point we can sit you down for another full-length episode at GK Visual.
Yeah, we'd love to have you for beers.
I want to sit at Don Draper's desk again.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the desk.
Oh, yeah.
I told somebody at work about that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't want to risk spilling beer on that desk.
Yeah, I know.
We're covering that desk, man. I've seen how many beers get spilled.
Yeah, you've seen our tablecloths, man. It's not safe.
Yeah, that's true. Put a tarp down.
That's funny. Oh, man.
Very cool. Nate, thank you again. PortandPA.com is where you can go. GKVisual.com is where you can go as well. Follow the social medias. Nate Kresge, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers. I also want to say before we get into the episode with our friend Brooks Hemauer that we recorded this episode before anything that we're currently dealing with as a society unfolded. We really had no idea what was about to come our way. And, we always joke around on the show about how podcast time doesn't make any sense, and it's no secret we record some episodes long before they're going to be published. This episode was recorded on May 22nd, 3 days before George Floyd was murdered, which sparked the current wave of Black Lives Matter protests, not only in the country, but around the world. And it really does go to show that everything can change pretty much in the blink of an eye. We're at a point in time when things are changing not only every day or every hour, but sometimes by the minute. And we hope that you'll continue to support Black business owners, artists, entrepreneurs, and Black culture as a whole. With that said, I really hope you enjoyed this episode with our friend Brooks Hemauer, who opened up his brewery quite possibly at the worst time imaginable, and I promise we'll talk about that in the show. And I hope that you'll take a step back to reflect on what's really important.
The only thing we have to fear is beer itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters. We're going to bring in the news and reviews, of course, of your favorite brews. My name is Dan Baker, and I am joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
And sitting alongside me for the first time in a long time,
wearing deodorant for the first time this week.
Thank you so much,
Ew.
the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
And we are joined socially by the unofficial fourth Beer Buster, that now older feller, Mr.
Kevin Keller.
There he is. How are you, sir?
Older fella.
Good.
Thank you for joining us again. It was weird without you last time.
I
but
think
we're
I
glad you
quit
could be
now.
back. Why do you quit?
Older feller Kevin Keller.
Hey, man, it was literally a last-second thing. Right before I hit the thing, I was like, hey, this is going to work. It's going to happen.
He's the youngest of the four of us.
Yeah, but he's in his 30s now.
But
That's
he's
why
30.
I said that now, older feller.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Yes, happy birthday, Kevin. And we do have joining us somebody who is near and dear to the show, who we very recently we had on for his first dedicated episode because his brewery was officially announced to be opening soon. We have joining us the one, the only,
Brooks Hemauer.
How are you, man?
Good. It's been a crazy day, but the support has been wonderful these last 3 weeks we've been open. So just living the dream, as they say.
It's awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time on a Friday night when I'm sure you want to be home on your couch.
Yeah, especially after a day like today.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
yeah, exactly. You have had a lot going on since we last spoke, including the opening of your actual brewery, which I'm sure we will get into a little bit. But before that, we have to remind everybody that's out there where you can find us online, besides where you are currently listening to us. We are at Beer Busters on Twitter and Instagram. We are Beer Busters Podcast on Facebook. There's also beerbusterspodcast.com and patreon.com/beerbusters, where you can find your way into the coveted Last Call, the punishment videos when we're allowed to be around each other and punish each other. There's behind-the-scenes posts and a timeline and such, and it's just a lot of merriment. And when we have the home recordings, when we're in the Beer Busters basement, you might find yourself invited to those recordings if you are local to the area.
I forgot that was a thing that used to happen.
I know. It seems like so long ago, but that is where we had Brooks on, and we had patrons in the house.
Was that the episode where we did the drink with the cottage cheese in it?
No, that was with Greg Worth.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the punishment when Brooks was on?
Brooks brought beers. He brought one of his old home brews.
Oh, that's right.
And then you chugged an old beat up dented can of, was it Coors Light, right? That you got on Halloween?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years old, something like that.
Yeah. But it still had the mountains that turned blue. I remember that.
The important stuff.
Yep. Yeah, so that's what that one was. So yeah, you can watch that video on Patreon right now.
Well, before we go into the news, we should go around the horn and say what we are all drinking. Wayne, you poured us a beer. What do we have?
Oh, yeah, so I ordered a six-pack of this last week, and I still have one left from Yards. It's Jefferson's Golden Ale, a big old 8% old-school Golden Ale that Dan and I are sipping on right now.
Oh, you're both drinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all very big beers with us, so we're just going to split them all.
Fair enough.
This is the first time I've had. This might be the first time I've had this beer. This can't be the first time.
I like this beer.
This is good.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
It is heavy. Oh, it's heavy. Steph, what are you drinking?
I sent my beer runner to this new brewery that opened in Mechanicsburg called Hemauer.
Love it.
Oh.
This is the farmhouse ale, Guy Francois.
No.
Oh, boy.
It's Francois.
Guy Francois.
Francois. That sounds a lot better.
Is he a Canadian hockey player?
Absolutely. French-Canadian.
Oh, yes!
Nice.
I said something right.
That's what matters, right?
Very nice.
Kevin, what are you drinking?
As long as 30% of what we say is correct.
Well, that's a good benchmark. Kevin, what do you got?
I am drinking the Altogether collab with it was Fourscore, Wolf Brewing, and Prototype. So,
very cool. You were supposed to save me a can of that. Did you save me a can of that?
Yeah, there's a can in my fridge.
Awesome. I'll be there tomorrow.
Perfect.
Cool. And Brooks, what do you got? What are you drinking?
I got a miscrimped or a low fill of our Lucky Lobster, the New England IPA. So I'm not going to pour it down the drain. That's alcohol abuse. I'm drinking it.
I love that he's got a defect. That's what
awesome.
he's drinking.
That's so great.
That's what the owner does.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
How we get paid.
Yep.
No, that's true too. Yeah. Cool. Well, we're all nice and lubricated. We're all drinking. We're all starting to. Don't give me that look. You know what I meant to say. We're gonna do news. All right. So we mentioned this when we were on our virtual happy hour with the folks at Mount Gretna before.
Oh yeah, cheers to Mount Gretna for having us on their happy hour today.
Thank you
that
to
was
them.
Fun.
It was a lot of fun. And what was the kid's name that was playing guitar? Ethan
Moore.
Ethan Moore. He was good. I liked him.
Young guy, little singer-songwriter, acoustic guitar, real cool.
Yeah.
Cool vibes.
One of the songs was inspired by Where the Wild Things Are, which I definitely appreciate. But one thing we did mention is that in light of all the beer fests and such that are being canceled and postponed and whatnot, GABF has announced something for theirs. It's usually held in Denver, we all know, but this year, thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, they are going virtual. Many beer festivals across the country have been canceled or postponed all the way through the summer and the rest of 2020. But, of course, the largest, that is GABF, had yet to make an announcement as of yesterday, as of this recording, which was the end of May. But the decision was bolstered by Colorado Governor Jared Polis issuing an executive order temporarily suspending certain statutes allowing the operation of alternate care sites in Colorado. All of this means that GABF cannot be held at the Colorado Convention Center because they are using that for something much more important. I love beer, and I want to go to GABF someday, but obviously it needs to be used for treatment of those that are affected. Instead, however, the festival is going to pivot to an online experience taking place October 16th and 17th, and you can expect live and virtual experiences that will include tastings, brewery conversations, and at-home beer and food deliveries. I'm excited to see what the future holds with that. So there you have it. Even the biggest one is being affected, but at least they're still doing something. So if you were going to submit beers and you're looking forward to the tasting notes and whatnot, there you have it. It will happen, just a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a tall order. It's a tall order to take GABF online. I mean, that's huge. How many people attend that? I mean, it's tens of thousands.
Dan, are there any details on how they're going to do it? Like I saw that Untapped is doing theirs digitally as well. And there's one ticket if you just want to attend and be part of the virtual experience. And then there's a more expensive ticket if you want beer sent to you, because they're doing it as like a tasting.
Yeah.
It sounds
cool.
kind of like they're going to do a similar thing.
They probably will do something like that, but the article mentions that the virtual GABF is still in planning with more details to be released in the coming weeks. So maybe by the next episode, we might have details to
they're trying to figure
on.
it out yet, too. Huh.
Yeah, but you're right, Wayne. That is a very tall order, so I'm sure there are a lot of things they have to take into consideration, especially given that it is the largest beer fest.
Yeah.
So they have to take a lot of things.
Then it's just a huge event in general.
Yeah, that is true too. Other news, as people are affected by what is happening out there. Three Floyds, man, they closed their legendary brew pub indefinitely due to the coronavirus, even as Indiana is moving to reopen. Which kind of sucks, They shuttered indefinitely. Indiana has been allowing businesses to reopen, and brewery founder Nick Floyd has said that he chose to furlough the staff at the pub, which has become one of the nation's quintessential brew pubs. I can't put people in danger, he says. No one should die over a beer, Floyd said on late Tuesday as of this recording. I would die for beer and probably will, but I'm not going to make other people endanger themselves. Very honorable. The pub, which can accommodate 70 people, in the about 2,000 square feet that they have, will not reopen, quote, until it's safe to operate again. He said he expressed concern for both customers and employees, going on to say that it's just too many people jammed in there. That kind of sucks, man. But at least they're looking forward to opening at some point. They're just saying it's indefinite. Steph, you had said something earlier before we were recording that they were closing for good. Have you heard something different?
No, I heard that they were closing for good, that they were closed for the pandemic and they were not reopening.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was just looking at the date on this article because I know we were talking about that earlier as well, and it was from 2 days ago, so maybe they've changed since then. But
yeah, the rhetoric, the first article that came out, the rhetoric of it didn't use the word indefinitely. They were just like, yeah, they're closing it, and Nick had yet to make a statement. So this was kind of Nick's response to that article coming out. But there's been rumors for a while that they were going to shut their brew pub down. So
I just looked at an article from Eater Chicago who is saying that Three Floyds brew pub won't be opening anytime soon, and the Chicago Tribune reports that it could remain closed for, quote, a year or two.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah, man, it's a weird world out there, and obviously you want to keep everybody safe, and you want to, if you've got employees, you want to be able to let them work and make sure that they're taken care of. But things kind of suck out there.
Yeah, and the unfortunate reality is you're probably going to see a lot more businesses just saying, "Hey, we're not coming back. Like we're not going to be able to." It's people are doing whatever they can to get by. Fortunately, from anecdotal evidence, people are still buying beer. I mean, Brooks, you just had to make a delivery to somebody before you got on the show. I'm sure people are operating at very much lower levels than they were, and unfortunately have had to lay off or let go a lot of staff. But alcohol, what is one of those things they always say is recession-proof. People always want to drink, so at least there's always going to be some demand. But yeah, I think That's not going to be the last time we hear of someone saying that they might not be coming back.
Yeah, I mean, you full pint closed their doors.
Yeah.
I think it just accelerated certain businesses' end dates, essentially, because they're already struggling prior to the pandemic, and this was kind of the last straw.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have to have a pretty significant cushion to survive. I mean, you read reports that like most restaurants don't have enough, capital or assets on hand to survive like more than 3 weeks with no income. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of places are still making some kind of money, but small businesses are built on the idea that like it's a wing and a prayer most of the times. It's blood, sweat, and tear. It's not like there's millions of dollars just sitting somewhere that you can just tap into when things go south.
Amen.
It's very, very true. There was another little bit of news, and I figured we should probably talk about this one because we have talked about all of their other beers.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course, as Pennsylvanians, we all know that there's a fight between Wawa and Sheetz for which is the better. Clearly, it's Wawa. There is no arguing that.
Unless it's the one in Royersford, apparently.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I always give Sheetz credit because I don't eat much of it anymore, but Sheetz has a deep fryer, so you can get real fried food instead of baked fried food. However, Sheetz is back at it. They, as a recap, had their first beer was with, let's see, where was it? Rusty Rail Brewing, for Sheetz Brothers Sumatra Coffee Beans, which was Project Coffee Hops IPA.
Which they did after Wawa did it first.
Right. Oh, hey, a pop-up ad now that I've been on that page for 3 minutes. Thanks.
Would you like to sign up for a newsletter?
Yeah, right. And then after that was, of course, Evil Genius, who is represented on the show through our friend Kevin Keller.
A deal negotiated by our very own Kevin Keller.
Yeah, and I'll ask you for details on it that you may or may not have told us before we started recording. But, of course, that was Project Blueberry Muffins, which was done with Evil Genius, which was, when you cracked that can, it smelled exactly like a blueberry muffin, which was the fucking craziest thing to me.
Yeah, that beer was interesting because we threw a pallet worth of blueberry muffins into it or something insane like that. We did it was a 50 or 100 barrel batch of it, and the blueberries really came out in it.
It was good. I really enjoyed that one. But they're returning for beer number 3, which as of recording is now on sale. So as you're listening to this, you may be able to find it if you're lucky. They chose to work with, of course, another Pennsylvania brewery. This time it was Neshaminy Creek Brewing, our friends up there, which this resulted in the limited edition IPA, which is going to be sold at 128 Sheetz locations across the state.
Really burying the lead here, Dan.
I know. Shush, I'm just going through.
I know you're getting there.
The company describes it as a crisp 5.5% ABV India Pale Ale.
It's a beer with hot dogs.
There's fucking
Dry
hot dogs in it.
Nugget and Centennial hops, and there's hot dogs.
There's hot dogs in the damn beer.
Jesus Christ.
4 packs are going to be $7.99. Fuck all of you.
Oh, man. Yeah, hot dogs and beer, huh? And it's an IPA. Of course it's an IPA.
West Coast IPA.
Oh, old school.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Imagine a hazy hot dog IPA.
Ugh, even worse.
God damn.
So does this qualify as like hot dog flavored water?
Oh,
Is that what
no.
this is?
Where's the chocolate
I was
starfish?
about ready to say it.
Yep, chocolate starfish.
Kevin, you had given us some details, and we can cut this out if we need to, if we're not allowed to talk about it. But when you were brokering the deal, they said they wanted to use hot dogs, and you told them you weren't doing it, right?
We were just leery about using hot dogs. Just putting meat into a beer is something that we've never ventured into before. It was it was too far out there for us.
For Evil
That
Genius.
says a lot, man. I love Evil Genius. I love you guys, but you do a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
No, I can see that, and it is kind of a gamble. I mean, not just in that, like, it does not sound appealing to me at all. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, if I come across it, I'm definitely going to try it. But I like.
Oh God.
I mean, we got our hands on the fried chicken beer, right? That happened. I feel like.
Oh yeah, it was fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Like, what's
We had the goat brain beer.
Yeah, we also had a beer with brisket in it before. Like, we've done these crazy beers before. I'm down to try any of them. I mean, we had the beer that was made with vaginal yeast.
Oh I luckily or unluckily did not have that one.
Yeah, I just feel like the blueberry beer and the coffee beer that they did previously, that made sense. Like a coffee beer, obviously, coffee beers are great. Blueberry muffin, sure, works well in a beer. Tasted like a blueberry muffin, cool. Hot, it just feels like we're going back to those days of like stunt beers, and I thought that was over. I don't know. I mean, does the article say anything about like the flavor profile? Like, what's the point of putting the hot dogs in? Like,
everything I've read is you get hot dog aromas, and then it tastes like a.
What does that even
I know,
mean?
right?
That is from what I've heard, it smells like hot dogs and tastes like a West Coast IPA.
Now, if you guys wouldn't have cut me off,
no, that makes sense.
there was a little bit more.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. I'm just going to savor this for a second.
Much like a juicy
Yeah,
Sheetz
no.
hot dog. You must savor the moment.
It's a crisp 5.5% ABV Indy Pale Ale, dry hopped with Nugget Centennial hops, and with, quote, ceremonial additions of Sheetz hot dogs in the brew kettle just for fun. They say don't expect to taste any wiener in the summer beer. Instead, it's billed as a refreshing and dry with delicate hop flavors of citrus and pine.
Well, see, now at least they're admitting that it's just sort of a gimmick. They're just coming out and saying, like, yeah, we didn't do this to make the beer taste a certain way. We're just doing it because it's fun. But
Well, it is Neshaminy Creek. Like, they make good beer.
that's the other side of it. Like, I'm kind of surprised that, I mean, and no offense to any of these people. Like, whatever, people are going to do what they're going to do, and that's fine. And like I said, I'll drink it if I find it. But I am kind of surprised. Like, Neshaminy didn't strike me as a brewery that would do that sort of. It's not really in their wheelhouse to do like crazy. I mean, they're pretty. I don't know. I don't want to say traditional, but they don't really. I don't really think of them doing crazy out there beers with like weird ingredients and adjuncts. They just do like icebox and super smoky rock beers and stuff like that.
At the same time, this is coming out at a time when every brewery and every business needs some kind of extra promotion if they want to survive. And
the gimmick beer.
Yeah, exactly. So this gets their name out there because we've all heard of it. Granted, we're all in the beer industry, but we've all heard of this. So we know it's a thing. People are sharing it on social media, and it gets Neshaminy's name out there. I will be in a Sheetz area this weekend. I will see if I can find some of this.
Sheetz area. I'm going into enemy territory. Reconnaissance. I'm going to acquire materiel.
I give Reading a lot of shit, but they've got both. They've got Sheetz and Wawa.
They do. They are in the demilitarized zone.
That's a good way to look at it.
What the fuck?
Well, hot dogs aside, here we are. We are quarantined yet again, and this is my bi-weekly therapy, and I'm glad we could be here and we're drinking these beers, and I'm glad, Brooks, that you were able to join us for this. Thank you again for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I just wish I could be on, when you guys are actually here.
I know, man.
I'm, other than Kevin, probably the guest with the most appearances without you actually broadcasting or recording at my place.
That's true.
Sounds about right.
That is very true. So one of the things that we need to discuss is last time we had you on, brewery was in planning. You were building it. You were masterfully digging the holes. And now your brewery is open. So here's the question. Why did you open in a pandemic?
That's a good question. Kind of multi-answered question. Mainly, we were ready to go. So all the renovations were done. We were just waiting on our final inspection from the Liquor Control Board when the pandemic hit. So coolers full of beer. Full of beer. I can't fit any more in it. And it got to the point where my wife and I realized that, this isn't going away in a couple of weeks. So, we're fortunate enough in order to be open, whether, granted it's for takeout and curbside service, but at least we can start moving product. We have a product that is getting older by the day, and it's, I spent way too much time, energy, and resources producing that product, and I'd be damned if I'm going to pour it down the drain.
Oh, of course. And
take a loss for it. Being so early in our business's life, we couldn't do it. So, I talked with my wife. My wife said, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And the rest is all history, as they say.
How long have you been open now?
Today would be 3 weeks.
All right.
Reporting to be 3 weeks.
So, Brooks, the four of us were on a Zoom call the other day for Kevin Keller's birthday, and you were brought up basically how brave we all thought you were for opening a business during a pandemic like this with a quarantine going on. I'm sure there was some fear, but to just talk about that general feeling of, not only is it scary to open a business, and for you, this has been quite a long time coming, as we know and as our listeners know, but what was it like doing it during this time?
Yeah, it's been 3.5 years in the making. Yes, we were scared. I mean, but I've said from the venture of this project that I'm not going to let fear run my life. I'm not going to let it, deter me from the ultimate goal. So we kind of had to, per se, because our product was getting older. But then again, we're not going to let fear dictate the outcome of our life. So, that's not to say that we aren't doing the proper precautions, all the CDC requirements, things of that nature. But it was time to go. I felt like it either, pardon my French, shit or get off the pot when it comes to the brewery, because it's time to go. It's time to open. Yes, the pandemic, it is what it is, but we can still be open. We can still start receiving some cash flow. Because I've been at this full time without a paycheck for a little over 6 months, and we still have the mortgage. My wife, her business got shut down because of the pandemic as well too. So we have zero income. We have 2 young children. We have a mortgage, and partially we have to start getting some cash flow so we can start to build at least some income to keep our head above water from the nest egg that my wife and I have built to keep ourselves secure over the rainy days, which it's pouring outside with the pandemic. I'm sorry to kind of go long-winded on the answer, but it really wasn't a simple answer for us, other than it was just time that I felt.
How has business been since you've opened, and what have you been doing to try to get people to come get beer, or let people know that you're even open? Yeah, so social media has been just absolutely paramount, and I have to give all praises to my wife, Shannon. I mean, she has just been absolutely killing it. She's been blogging every single day, as well as whenever beers come out. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Everyone should know what's going on with us. Once we finally opened. Another thing, we really had to pivot. We had our game plan set in stone that, obviously the tap room, we're going to have, full capacity. We're going to get food eventually here once we open up and settle down. But with the pandemic, boom, we were planning on buying a crowler machine. But unfortunately with, deciding to open, that's all we could do. So we, before we opened, we quickly purchased a crowler machine, purchased a pallet full of crowlers. So that's sitting in the garage right now, dwindling away, which is a great thing. As well as I really found out that 32 ounces of beer at one sitting is actually a lot for some people.
Who are these people?
Well, I had a crowler to myself the other night, and halfway through, it's like, why am I doing this?
Obviously, all of us being excluded that are here talking right now. But for the lay person, 32 ounces is actually a pretty large commitment. As well as you get a double IPA, barrel aged beer where they're $14, $18. That's a lot of money for people to spend. Granted, beer, craft beer is, I think of it as a small term luxury that people can afford mostly. But, one thing that I've definitely noticed with just seeing other breweries open, several of my friends included in this, is that one thing that people come to a brewery where they've never been before, there's one thing they always purchase, and that's a flight. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they want to try as many beers as they can without having to make a big commitment financially, as well as, ounce-wise to it. So that really got me thinking of how can we provide flights, something that they can have a smaller quantity to go. And actually we just received our second crowler machine that does 16 as well as 8 ounce cans to go. So that allows people to do custom 4-packs as well as custom 8 ounce crowler 4-packs or 6-packs, whatever you want to do. That way, it gives better offering to people. there was that, as well as delivery as well too. My wife and I thought that let's make it to the point where people do not have an excuse not to come in. Oh, well, you're too far. You're on, way on the other side of Mechanicsburg and, traffic. No, we'll just bring it to you. There's no fee delivery for up to 10 miles. There's a $20 minimum delivery. So we're just trying to eliminate any excuses why people would come in and drink our beer.
I really like the idea of the smaller format cans. I remember a while ago when Workhorse came out with their cute little mini cans where you sort of do like a flight to go.
I like that.
And that was a really cool idea. And like now looking back, like that's a perfect idea right now, especially for you as a new brewery. Like you said, people don't want to commit to a large amount of one kind of beer from a brewery they've never been to before, but right now they don't have the option to go in and sample. So being able to, and this is something I talked about earlier when we were in that the happy hour with Mount Gretna. It's amazing to see the flexibility that has come out from breweries and most small businesses in the face of all of this. And like you said, pivoting and just being saying, okay, we're going to react and we're going to do this now.
And with that being said, Wayne, I mean, I guess, with the pandemic going on and we just starting up, we don't know any different. We know nothing.
Yeah.
So for a brewery that's been, let's just say, open 10, 15 years, they're kind of set in their ways. So for them to change course is very, very difficult to do. So for us, it was very easy and natural because we don't know any different. And we're just at the point of we just need to survive. We need to keep the lights on. We need to keep the mortgage paid. We need to keep our kids fed. So we're just doing anything that we can in order to serve our beer to people and survive this, which we will. I'm confident we will.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, if I had to describe you as one of the new business owners that we've met, I would describe you as tenacious. And
I don't accept failure. I mean,
I mean, you're very much
any goal, and this is, my friends from back in Wisconsin can tell you, I put a goal out there, I accomplished it. It may take a little time, but I'm tenacious enough to the point and self-motivated that it's going to happen. So, it's kind of get a little emotional thinking, all the blood, sweat, and tears is finally here. Now, granted, it's not what we initially anticipated, but we're open for business. We're selling our product, and it's also very, very nice collecting money for beer, other than giving it away for free.
I can imagine, yeah. So, obviously, you're operating in a way that you were not expecting, and your plans leading up to this were not geared towards doing just packaged beer, and certainly not just takeout or delivery. But is there at least some relief in that you don't have some of the overhead that maybe you were expecting to have when you first opened, since you don't have people coming in your door?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that it's just my wife and I, that we don't have all the overhead of XYZ, the monthly reoccurring bills that comes with a business, the services that come in, clean your draft lines, maybe replace the car, the mats in front of the doors, things of that nature. We do that all ourselves. But on the other side, I'm, a little disheartened that, we hired a staff. We hired 5 people. They haven't even worked an hour yet. When things went down, basically got, just talked to everyone. Everyone was very understanding. But it's just, it kind of, crushed me and my wife that, here's a way that we can, provide for another family. That's our role in this business, is to be able to, provide jobs for the local community. And with this being said, my wife and I just had to pivot to the point where, like, look, sweetheart, it's you and me. We're just going to have to figure this out. The boys are just going to have to, hang out at the tables and ride their bikes around the parking lot on the nice days. And we're just going to have to do it because we have no choice.
Well, now that the governor updated the order and now the Mechanicsburg area is in yellow, what does that mean for you guys now moving forward?
It doesn't mean anything different. So we're still takeout as well as curbside service. The point of sale system I have to rave about with the online ordering, it has been absolutely fabulous. I'd say about 90% of all our business has come from the online ordering, and I don't think we've had an issue to date yet. but the governor just announced what the criteria were for when we go green, whenever that may be. I'm hopeful it's before the 4th of July. Obviously sooner the better for us, but as soon as that will be, it will be. I keep telling people, it's just like, I want to see rear ends in the seats. I want to see butts in the seats, but as well as there's been a lot of people that have been following us these 3.5 years, coming along with the journey that, hey, I just want to sit down and relax and have a beer with you. Yeah. Hey, I want that too. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and we're just going to have to keep grinding away, and we'll get to the other side.
So when you say that the being in the yellow phase now doesn't change anything, is that because does that still restrict businesses like restaurants and bars to being only takeout and pickup? Is that still part of it?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, we can't have on-site consumption until we go green. And then when we do go green, it's only 50% occupancy. At least what I quickly saw. My wife mentioned it to me today, but I was probably doing about 4 things at one time. So I was lucky enough to hear, let alone to understand. But I believe that's the case, that it's only going to be at 50% of our occupancy, which leaves us to about 24 people, which really isn't a lot. But then again, it's better than 0.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's going to be rough, though, because you will have to turn people away, because people are going to want to come to a brand new brewery as soon as we are able to, and that's going to be really rough to tell people, no, you can't come in yet.
Yeah, absolutely, Steph. I mean, that's something I'm trying to kick around in my head. Do I start taking reservations for it? But then, how do you time manage? I mean, it's not like, a true restaurant where the typical 4-member family will sit and eat for an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, you can, on average. Well, how can I plan on one person coming in for 1 beer, one person coming in for 4? I mean, I'm probably going to have to sit in, at the doorstep with a clicker, one person in, one person, out. We're just going to have to figure it out. And, hopefully that, there's some more data that comes out, as well as information of how to address this, which, the Brewers of Pennsylvania has been wonderful in their communication with everything that's gone on in the pandemic, as well as the American Brewers Association with what's next with opening. And, I'm going to use this term a lot. We're just going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So what happens if you have 25 people then, One of the times you clicked the thing, it didn't count somebody, or you missed somebody by accident. What happens then? Obviously, if you were to get caught, we're talking. But is it that big of a deal to have a 25th person there?
I don't know. I mean, that all has to deal. I mean, our occupancy is 49, so we can have 49 people here. Number 50.
So you could have 24 and a half.
Yeah,
they prefer to be called little people.
Right off at the waist. But I don't know what that entails. Is that someone calling in, coming in and counting heads and contacting the police?
I mean, if I had to speculate, I can't imagine people are going to be going around checking. I think it's going to be like a health department kind of thing, where if they get a report from a number of people, they'll come by and be like, hey, and there'll probably be a warning like, hey, you have to follow these rules. Next time we'll take your license, we'll fine you, whatever.
Yeah, who knows? And I fully expect that it's going to be just an absolute rush once, I call it the green flag, we're back to racing, that everyone's just going to, who is comfortable with, coming back and getting out to, life as we used to know it, the norm used to be. But as well as, I don't foresee online ordering, curbside takeout going away at all. And I don't plan on changing that at all. We're located next to 2 very large industrial parks. So, there's commercial buildings, corporate offices, and there's going to be too many times where people are going to be sitting at an office, in their office on their computer Thursday, Friday afternoon, about 3:30. Man, I could really go for a beer. Bing, bang, boom, order it. Come on down, call us. Hey, I'm so-and-so. Yep, we got it ready to go. And they're out, they don't even have to leave their car. In 10 seconds, 30 seconds, they're already gone. Instead of having to wait in line and order whatever they want and then get it filled. So, we're just trying to focus on the convenience.
I really like that you're planning on keeping that, because one of my selfish thoughts throughout this whole thing has been, it's so easy to get good beer delivered to me or to just go pick it up from somewhere, that I hope it doesn't go away. So it's refreshing to hear you say, as a business owner in this space, that you're going to keep that around.
Yeah. Now, delivery, we're going to have to kind of reevaluate.
Yeah.
Once back in order, mainly because of just sheer traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even take, as selfish as I would like to be, having somebody drop the beer off on my door, I'll take curbside. Because there are times when I want a beer, but I don't have time to go out and wait with the crowd and drink it in public. I just want to go get it and come back.
Yeah, and everyone's been very, very receptive to the online ordering, as well as even takeout as well too. That people, and a lot of times people just want to come in and see the place because they've only seen pictures online. So we've had a very strong number of people coming in, just like, finally you're open, and finally I can see the place in real life. We're still putting up some artwork here. We're gonna paint kind of a semi-mural this weekend. There's a saying that I really, really like that we're gonna paint on the one side wall to make it feel more like home. I mean, we put the Peep Show and the Fruity Pebbles posters up.
I saw that.
Yeah. It was nice to finally get that out of the home office and back, to the work office, so to speak.
We have the Fruity Pebbles poster in the Beer Busters basement.
Yes, we do. Yep. That has an occupancy of at least 24.
So, Brooks, right now I'm drinking the Strawberry Berliner, which I want you to talk about. But after that, I also want to talk about, I noticed, you have a lot of beers on your tap list right now that are to style, which so far what I've sampled are quite tasty. However, you have a reputation for creating some really out there beers, like the Peeps one and the Fruity Pebbles and the one you did when we all wore the hats. What's the horse race thing?
Called
the Mint Julep. Yeah.
The Mint
yes.
Julep.
But what's the race called? I can't think of the horse race thing.
Kentucky Derby.
The Kentucky Derby. Yeah. Well, we all wore the hats and everything. Like, once you get through this initial opening, do you have plans to now go back and fire up that creativity and make some of those beers now on a commercial level? So, but first, talk about the Strawberry Berliner.
Strawberry Berliner. Not really much to talk. It was just a simple kettle sour. It was actually a small batch as well too, and that's something I guess I can just talk about real quickly. That just noticing that beer's not flowing, so to speak, as quickly as I had anticipated, and I haven't brewed on our big system. And I did brew a oatmeal stout that I put in bourbon barrels at the beginning of March.
I'm sorry, what now? What was that?
Dan just perked up.
So the last time I brewed on the big system, I brewed a oatmeal stout, that the Oats and Hose, that I put in bourbon barrels, Members Mark bourbon barrels.
I was really, really hoping that's what I heard.
Yeah,
just had to get it out there.
Figuring that it's got plenty of time to age, but I don't anticipate starting up with the big system probably until July at least.
Can I ask a supplemental question about your delivery? Do you deliver to Philly?
For the right price.
Right. Hey, everyone has their price.
$5 American.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to do it.
I don't think so.
All right.
But anyway, Steph, getting back to your point, it was a 10-gallon batch, so basically I just used my pilot system for that. Simple kettle sour, and then just added strawberry puree to it because everyone likes a fruited sour. Went over very well. Just actually kicked it today, so it's gone as we speak. But yes, I will get my creative side on again. One thing with having 12 taps, it does give you some very much flexibility when it comes to your offerings, and I want to dedicate 2 of those taps just for the experimental stuff. I recently put the post out there that we're going to do an experimental IPA series called Pivot Points. That it's going to be the same base malt, but we're going to try different hops every single time. I know there's other breweries that do that, but that way allows our guests to really focus in on that hop itself and the differences from one to the other, as well as I can try different techniques when it comes to that. I'm hoping that I can get the Peep Show as well as Fruity Pebbles on sometime this summer. Call the post. When is the Derby? In October, isn't it? September or something?
I couldn't tell you.
I thought it was in May.
Did they reschedule it?
They rescheduled it till September.
Oh, you mean this year? When is it? I was like, I thought it was always in May. I don't know.
Yeah, because Little Big Beer Fest is in April, and that's when it was around. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to try to get a small batch together and maybe do a small bottle release and maybe a sixtel of it for Derby Day. We'll see. I mean, things kind of have to settle down, so to speak, especially once we get to the green phase and we're sustained in the green phase. The whole second wave kind of is throwing everyone for a loop. I mean, I think it's going to happen. It's just the severity of it. We'll see. But, once things settle down, once I get the staff settled in, that will free me up a little bit of time to be more creative because right now we're open 6 days a week. And Monday's the only day off, and that's usually brewing. Now we are going to be open for Memorial Day, which obviously this is going to air past Memorial Day. So I'm thinking about taking Tuesday off just to get caught up with beer because we had a couple of our beers kicked today, which is fabulous. But it means more work for me, which I love to do.
What are there any styles that you want to brew more that you haven't seen many other brewers doing or that have kind of fallen off in the last couple of years that you want to try to reinvigorate?
Yeah, I mean, I think more of the traditional styles that you just don't see anymore. I mean, when's the last time you saw an ESB on tap?
Thank you for saying that.
I mean,
not recently enough.
Right, exactly. I mean, our ESB Frankelin just kicked today. I'm going to have to brew it again. And there's been a lot.
There it is.
Imagine that.
Stuff's got it.
Of course, I got a crowler of that.
That just some of the more simplistic styles. I mean, I think they're going to start coming back around because the more adjuncts you put in, there's only so much you can do with beer. That it's going to get to a point where it's going to be pretty much all saturation. And I know, at least from my palate, at least on the ways of IPAs, they're all starting to taste the same to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really brings me back to the basic styles, the true traditional styles. I've always thought of, kick around a Kentucky Common. Never brewed before, But with that being said, I mean, we had a hazy lactose IPA last week, Puck You Shorzy. We sold out. Careful, Dan.
I almost spit his beer out.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate that reference.
I love that show so much.
Great.
Give your tap handle a tug.
Jesus Christ.
We sold out of that in like a day and a half. I mean, that beer was gone. We released it on Friday. It was gone Saturday by like 1:30. So I mean, I can realize that, obviously people want it. So I'm going to brew it to pay the bills. But I, want to at least give people options. And that's why I went with 12 taps. I mean, I could have went just as easily with 8, 10, even 6, just to try to keep the core group. But I'm just trying to offer as much diversity to all our guests that, try to hit someone's palate, whether that be they like sour beer, they like barrel-aged beer, they like crazy off-the-wall shit, with candy and, everything.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest struggle when you're curating a tap list is trying to find something for everyone. I know down at the lab in Philly, one of our better sellers was the painting was a gift Todd, which is our light lager. It was something that like the Coors Light drinker could come in and be like, yeah, I drink Coors Light or Miller Light or whatever. We're like, oh, perfect, here you go. Instead of trying to be like, what's our least like hoppy beer? It's always interesting trying to find the right combination of styles for a tap list.
And you ultimately, with time, you kind of figure it out as long as you're aware of your surroundings and aware of the data that what your people crave. I mean, when we opened, we had a Pilsner and a Helles lager on, which most places you're lucky to get one of those, let alone I wanted to have 2 because they're so popular in this area. And we've had several people come in, oh, I didn't even heard you. I like beer. Okay, what do you drink? Oh, the light stuff, not hoppy, Miller Lite, Coors Light. Got the perfect thing for you. And they've come back. So, it really shows that, those styles, are still alive and well in the industry.
Do you ever, the people that come in saying I drink, Miller and Coors and Bud, if you give them one of yours and they like it, do you ever see them go on to experiment with other styles? Do they move into more IPAs? Do they move to dark stuff? I don't know if I've ever really explored that thought.
Well, actually, funny story was opening weekend. Just a local kind of. He lives like literally 10 steps away, right on the backside of the building. He came in. The guy's name's Jack. I only know him from his eyes. We know all our people from their eyes and their voice. Don't know faces yet. But what's funny is like, he came in, knew nothing about us. Came in, welcomed him, and just try to get to know what he drank. We gave him, I believe, the Jimpy Pilsner, or it was the Pilsner or the lager. But came back the following week, said, "Man, that was really good. Can I get what's all about the New England IPA?"
Slow down, buddy. Slow down. One step at a time.
Kind of go into detail that it's very, very low in bitterness, but yet it's really strong in the fruit characteristics of it. And he's like, "Okay, I'll try it out." He came back a third time. And that was great. I never really drank IPAs before that. I loved it, and I can't remember the third thing. I think he got.
Do you have anything with hamburgers in it?
There may be a brat beer coming out soon. I don't know.
Oh my god!
I would respect a brat beer more than a hot dog beer.
I think I need to do a Johnsonville brat beer, especially because they're from literally my hometown in Wisconsin. So.
No, but seriously, that story is like the perfect, because we always talk to brewers about what's that gateway beer, what's that beer that you give to the guy that comes in and says I only or girl that says I only drink Miller, Bud, Coors, and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of places realize that they need to have that kind of beer, not just to have those to bring in those kind of drinkers, but also because people like us get jaded sometimes, and we just want a simple easy drinking lager. But yeah, to hear that it actually, like an anecdotal evidence of it actually leading to someone exploring more styles and sort of getting into more things is really cool.
Yeah.
They're like those gateway beers too. Like tap room visits have become a family adventure too. Like mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, like the whole family's coming out. So like
friggin' kids.
Yeah, I mean you have chocolate milk.
Some people have kids here.
Nothing wrong with kids.
But what those gateway beers, it gives more credence to your tap room to be a family destination that everyone has an option to drink.
Hold up.
Oh boy.
Well,
she's triggered.
We need to stop calling lagers gateway beers.
It's only gateway because the macros are lighter lager styles.
We're also not necessarily saying that lagers are equal gateway beers. A lot of times, if someone has a beer specifically for the purpose of appealing to a macro beer drinker, oftentimes it is a lager.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's not an equivalency.
Yeah.
Do we think that a New England IPA could be a gateway beer?
To somebody who drinks orange juice, yes.
Hold on. To well-made lagers. Like maybe the New England IPA gets people into the trend of craft beer and makes them feel cool.
Yep.
And then eventually they'll appreciate a well-made lager.
Yeah, well, and a well-made lager is the gateway beer for an older demographic that, that grew up in a time when Miller, Bud, Coors was the only option. And I think the New England IPA is the gateway craft beer for the younger drinkers who are growing up in a world where craft beer has always been a thing.
You also have to think, too, that everybody has a different craft beer journey. Well, beer journey in general, Nobody's going to follow the same exact path. One thing that somebody might like is different than somebody else. And one might see the lager to the IPA to the stout as their path versus the New England IPA to the lager to the something else. Like everybody's going to go about it differently. I hope people will experiment and try different things overall, but no two people are going to have the same experience.
Yeah, and honestly, like you also have to look at it of like what are they gatewaying from? Are they gatewaying from wine, mixed drinks, macro light lagers, or have they never drank before? So like, I think any beer could be.
I've never had alcohol in my life. Here's a barrel-aged imperial stout.
Yeah, we're like
that's how you do it.
Gateway to alcoholism.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It really depends on the consumer.
Why does it have to be a gateway? Why can't it be in addition to what you already enjoy?
Well, I think gateway is definitely an oversimplification of the concept that we're thinking of. It's a gateway in that it leads to experimenting with other styles of beer, but it's probably going to be in addition to what they already drink. Let's look at what was the first sour that we had on the show that I cringed at?
Oh, it was a sour IPA.
Magic Hat Sour IPA.
That,
yeah,
I will never forget that day.
Neither will I, apparently, except for the beer itself. But that was sort of my gateway to sour beers because I had.
No, that was us throwing.
No, that was a fucking barbed wire fence.
All right,
sour
fine.
beers.
But I can look back at that and say, like, that was the first time I tried it, and I wanted to keep going to experience something that I would like with that style. And maybe
but I want more.
I had to dial it back a little bit and go to something that was much, much less sour and jowly. But like that was I look at that as my gateway to sours, even though you fuckers did that to me.
That was funny.
That was so
I do
fun.
remember that. That was funny. I do want to interject real quick.
Yes.
While we're on the subject of traditional styles and styles that maybe are underrepresented, Dan and I just finished, and we're about to crack something else, but we did just finish Stickman's Walk a Mile in Her Shoes.
Yes.
Which was the cream ale that they did to benefit the Laurel House, which works to fight domestic violence and gender abuse and rape and all that kind of horrible, nasty stuff. The Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is actually a walk, like a walkathon type thing that was supposed to happen and obviously didn't. And this beer was meant to be. We talked about this with Ethan on the episode he was on that just came out, but. It's a quick summary. This was supposed to be like in conjunction with that. Obviously, the walk didn't happen. They still made the beer and sold the beer and still donated a portion of the proceeds to Laurel House. So that's pretty cool.
And I have to, with that beer, I have to, obviously, yes, it's great that they support such a wonderful charity who's doing great work for people who definitely need it. In the episode, and Steph, I don't know that I've told you this, Ethan had promised that he was going to bring me the Oreo cheesecake beer.
Oh, right, yeah.
They were out of it by the time he got to work that morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
So he delivered me a 4-pack of this.
Because it was so good.
Right, and because we
so
thought I was going to be able to get some, but I'm confident he will brew it again and that I will be able to try it then.
All right,
It
and
was
also,
so good.
real quick, before we get back to the conversation, before I forget, I'm just going to tell you what we just cracked open. We now have Cape May's Brewberry, an imperial stout with blueberry and coffee. So there you go.
This is courtesy of our friend Slimy Sauce, Mark Graves, because I took him to see Thrice back when we were allowed to go to concerts. And it was the first time he's seen them, and he's been a fan for years.
Anyways, getting back
Yes,
to
please.
the conversation, one thing that I've just realized, for my very, very short time in the industry being an owner, the hardest part is just getting people to try your product.
Yeah.
And that's why we were at every single brew fest that we could to build the brand. That way it's recognizable once we do open. I think that's one of the reasons why we've been so successful this first 3 weeks is because people have followed us and realized like, oh, I've had your beer here, there. But if people will just come in, that's the hardest part. For them to come in, I'll find a beer for you. And then after that, I got them. And that's not to sound overconfident or anything like that. But if I can at least break down the barrier of them coming in, it's all good. I know I'll succeed from that. Whether that's a lager, a barrel-aged stout, whatever they want, I'll get them, as well as I'll make options to them, suggestions to try different. And most people are open to trying different styles, as long as they don't have to have a 32-ounce crowler of it. They can get an 8-ounce crowler of it.
That's a really good point, Brooks, because you have worked over the last 3 years or so to not only build a brand, but also build relationships with the beer community in Central Pennsylvania and the beer drinkers in Central Pennsylvania. And I think that is definitely helping you, especially in this whole pandemic, because I think people are going to feel a connection to you and they feel like they know you personally and they know your story and they've been a part of your journey and they're going to want to support you.
No,
but you've done a really good job of that.
Yeah, and my wife and I are front and center, and that's one thing that is my goal in this business is always to be present. Now that comes with its advantages and disadvantages, and I fully realize that, and I fully well know that my plan on building this business when it comes to expansion is that I'm going to have to kind of take a back seat when it comes to the brewing operations, the tap room operations, things of that nature, and just kind of be the CEO of the company, kind of just overall operations of the day-to-day, which some may have its downfall, and I realize that, but with the growth of the company that we want for this, it has to happen. But I hope that I can instill in the staff the guest convenience. You can cut that. That was dumb. I didn't want to say that.
The guest experience.
Yeah, the guest experience, the customer support, the convenience of everything, because we will do what it takes in order to make them happy. Because ultimately, if they're not happy, I'm not happy, and I want to just make people happy. And that is my goal, is so we all can have a nice, comfortable place that everyone can just come and relax, enjoy each other's company, enjoy a pint or two, and enjoy your life.
I have two things to say while we're in this happy moment. One, I think we should play a game. Two, Brooks, I noticed that you're getting a lot more hair and facial hair.
I was going to comment on it eventually.
To the caveman look?
Well, I can't get it cut.
Right.
Hey, wait, hold on. I'm taking umbrage. I'm officially taking umbrage. Wow. He did not look like a caveman. If he was a caveman, he was a fabulous caveman. He might have had a lot of hair, but it was fabulous.
He was the most fabulous of cavemen. I agree with that.
Well, I can guarantee you the facial hair will go away once we start serving food, because I'm not wearing one of those.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Hair net things.
Those things are the worst.
I will not wear that. So yeah, facial hair will go away. I'm kind of kicking around the hair idea again, growing it. So since Stemler has me got to run for his money with his long hair.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I think there needs to be a vote out there for all the Beer Busters fans out there. Who had the best hair? Who did it better?
Oh, man. Ooh. I like that idea.
Well, he is much older than you.
Hey.
I mean, like decades.
Yeah, that is true. But then again, I do take another number here in the next 2 weeks. So.
Oh, really? Oh, well, happy early birthday.
Well, depends on when this airs. My birthday's on the 3rd, so.
Probably be like right when it comes out, right? 2 weeks from today.
This comes out on your birthday, so yeah.
Yeah, because mine's on the 5th, so
well,
yeah.
In podcast time, happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday 2 days ago.
But recording, happy early birthday.
There you go. Time's
Thanks,
weird.
Happy birthday, Wayne.
Thank you. Did you have a second thing? Did you say both things, Steph?
Yeah, I said I think we should play a game.
Oh, that was the other thing.
That was the other thing?
Okay, cool.
Let me grab another beer. I got to go to the cooler.
Okay.
All right, cool.
While he's doing that, I did break open the ESB now.
Of course.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
I'm sure it is.
Kevin Keller, are you still on your first beer?
Yeah, I'm nursing it right now.
Jesus, man. What, are you pre-gaming?
I've been struggling this week.
I say this all the time. I did not start getting hangovers until I turned 30. Have you now started getting hangovers now that you're 30?
It's been a couple years of hangovers, so.
I got hangovers all along, but they got worse when I got to my 30s.
I didn't hear about the ESB.
It's really nice. I'm enjoying it.
Thank you. It pays homage to our late Yorkie, Franklin.
Aw.
Yeah, he was a good old dog. We miss him dearly, but there will be only one Franklin.
I feel like we talked about that before. Now that you mention it, I feel like that's come up before. Awesome beer with an awesome name for an awesome dog.
Whenever I see an ESB, I'm definitely going to order it.
Definitely.
I don't blame you. Well, you're right. We should play a game, and I'm going to hope I remember which knob the iPad is, but here we go.
Cheers, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the podcast trivia segment that is 20% hot dog flavored water.
Oh.
Nobody else can hear the music. It's so weird. So anyway, today we are playing a brand new game that I just came up with because this is the pandemic. We're doing everything different. We're breaking all the rules. Everything's out the window. So I'm calling this Strange Shots and Curious Cocktails. So I've perused Pinterest, collected a number... Yeah, Pinterest, right? A number of interesting shot and cocktail recipes with the types of names that you would expect shot and cocktail recipes on the internet to have. It will be up to you to guess the ingredients in these drinks. I'll provide hints as necessary and award points for each correct ingredient named. As an aside,
Can I just say, I just read the Bartender's Guide. What the hell is it called? Bartender's Guide to Cocktails or whatever. But I will probably not remember any of them.
That's fine.
You've got it for reference, though.
There you go.
It's downstairs.
Before we get to the actual game, as an aside, I have, in an attempt to show some maturity and retain some dignity, I've purposely avoided the vulgar and blatantly sexual drink names for this game, which is difficult because, yeah, like 90% of the drinks out there, cocktails, are vulgar sexual names. But I will, for educational purposes, I would like to share some of the ones that I found with you right now, and they kind of fall into different categories. The first are just silly and juvenile, like sit on my face, lick my stick, balls deep, and flaming gorilla titties.
Oh.
Yep, that's a drink. Then, of course, they are the sex-shaming and misogynistic drinks like porn star, twisted stripper, slutty nurse, and dirty whore's bathwater. That is a drink you can make. There's a recipe for that on the internet. Then there's some that are just kind of rapey, like slippery panties, leg spreader, and cougar bait.
Oh.
Yes, cougar baits. But I did find a few variations on the famous sex on the beach. We've all heard of that. But these have an admirable bit of cleverness. There is sex on a snowbank, and my favorite, sex in the driveway.
What about shornication?
Sex on the beach, or shornication. There you go, there you go. So yeah, that's all the sexiness you're going to have for the rest of this game, just so you know. So anyway, it's going to be a little more informal. Everybody just kind of guess ingredients as we go. Like I said, I got like hints I can drop, and once we get stuck, I'll just kind of tell you the rest and tally up points. There's no punishment on the line anyway, so, you know, none of this really matters. So we're going to start off, and our first drink is called a Scooby Snack.
Dog
Scooby
food.
Snack. There's no dog food, Dan. No dog food in that drink. Start
Kahlua.
with Kahlua, no Kahlua. Yeah, let's start with the
Amaretto.
alcohol. No amaretto. Nope.
Rum?
Cream.
There is a type of rum.
Spiced rum.
Steph, there is cream, so you get a point for that.
Woo.
It's a Caribbean, not spiced
Coconut rum.
Coconut
There-
rum. Steph gets another point for coconut rum. There's one other kind of booze in it. It's a fruit liqueur. What kind of fruit liqueur do we think is in a Scooby Snack? A fruit liqueur. There's also cream. Steph got cream. That is also in it.
Grenadine?
Melon?
That's not a liqueur.
Oh my goodness, melon liqueur. Yes, Steph got 3 points. Nobody else has anything. There are two more. All right, guys. There are two more ingredients. None of them are alcohol. One of them's a type of fruit juice, and the other is along with the sort of cream theme.
Orange juice.
Pineapple. Brooks gets pineapple juice.
And what was the hint for the other
Something creamy and light.
one? Cream?
Often comes
Coconut?
in a can.
Milk.
You kinda-
Coconut milk.
It goes.
Whipped
Whipped
cream.
cream.
Whipped cream. Steph runs away with 4 points on that one. Yes. Melon liqueur, coconut rum, cream, pineapple juice, and whipped cream. This is a shot. All of that is shaken over ice. The whipped cream is then added on top. Steph is killing it.
I kind of want to make that.
I know, it doesn't sound like it would be too bad, right? All right, our next drink for you to guess the ingredients on is called a Purple Alaskan Thunderfuck. This one has 4 different types of booze in it. So
Blue.
Blue?
Blue Carousel.
No blue carousel. Good guess, though. Good guess.
Grape schnapps.
No grape schnapps.
Vodka.
There is vodka. Point for Steph on vodka.
Tequila.
No tequila. So on the lines of vodka, there are 2 other liquors that are kind of standard.
Rum.
There is rum, yes. What was that?
White rum.
No, just rum. Just regular old rum.
Regular rum.
One more liquor that is in everybody's liquor cabinet. Nothing
Whiskey.
fancy.
Gin?
Gin. Dan gets gin.
I got a point.
There is gin in it. Now, there's 2 other types of liquor. One of them is another fruit liqueur, and the other one is a slightly fancier but still kind of standard.
Grand Marnier.
No, not Grand Marnier. Good guess. So we got vodka,
Black.
rum, gin, and black.
Blackberry brandy.
Blackberry.
No, it's not right. There's no black anything. I was just pretending that you were right. Type of fruit liqueur. Anybody going once?
Kirsch.
Bueller. No, it's raspberry. I'm going to give you that one. Raspberry liqueur. And the last one is triple sec. However, there are non-alcoholic ingredients. One of them is a soda.
7-Up.
Ginger ale.
7-Up. Dan gets it right off the bat with 7-Up. And we do have another fruit juice.
Pineapple.
Apple juice.
Orange
Pineapple
juice.
again.
Cranberry.
Steph gets pineapple again. Yep. And also sweet and sour mix. Nobody was going to get that. Yeah, this is also a shot. Everything is put in the shaker except for a 7-Up. Shaken and poured, and then a splash of 7-Up on top. That is how you make a purple Alaskan Thunderfuck. No idea why it's called that. Moving on to our next drink, and Steph's really going to like this one. This one is called 100% That Bitch.
Gin, rum, vodka.
Oh, you can't just rattle them off like that.
I'm going to tell you this. The booze in this is fancy.
Oh,
nope, not Jägermeister. Champagne. What were you going to say, dude?
I was going to say brandy.
Nope. Champagne. You got champagne. There's one other type of booze. Also fancy.
Schnapps.
Also begins with CH. Also begins with CH.
Chambord.
Steph gets Chambord. Oh, my goodness.
What is Chambord?
She's running away. I'm not sure, but it's fancy.
I quit. This sucks.
Oh, my God. So there's one other thing in this drink, and it is a literal actual fruit. Like the actual fruit.
Oranges.
Goes into it.
Cherry.
Nope.
Cherry.
Nope.
Raspberry.
Banana.
Close on raspberry. Close on
Blackberry.
Blackberry. Dan gets blackberry, yes.
Blackberry.
Blackberry, also a type of phone.
This is a hot fucking mess.
It is.
And I love it.
Welcome to the socially distant Beer Busters. Yeah, this is not a shot. This is a full-on drink. It's an ounce of Chambord that is poured into a chilled flute, and then 4 ounces of champagne are added, and it's garnished with a blackberry and stirred. Doesn't that sound
I want it.
amazing? Yes, that is awesome. We are moving on to... Are we there already? Did I skip one? We're in our last drink.
Oh, shit.
The last drink of the game. This went fast. I thought I had another one. I guess not. All right. We are moving back to Alaska. Our final drink of the game is called Alaska Duck Fart Cocktail. Or Alaska Duck Fart Cocktail? Or Alaska Duck Fart Cocktail. I'm not sure. It's
Duck shit. Duck shit. Is
No
that
duck
in it?
shit.
No.
I will tell you that it's not what you would think from the name.
Bear shit.
Dick gets a point for bear shit.
Yes.
It's not in the drink, but I'm just giving it
Did
away
we find it in the woods?
Yeah. Maybe. The
Bear will
Alaskan.
whatever he wants to shit.
Yeah. It's the Pope Catholic.
Gin.
There is no gin. You guys did say a couple of these earlier in other drinks.
Vodka. Blue Curacao.
There's nope.
Canadian whiskey.
Nope. 3 types of booze.
Brandy.
Tequila.
Nope. I will say they are Irish, Mexican,
Spice rum.
and Italian.
Jameson.
Nope. Irish, Mexican, and Italian. Not Jameson.
Limoncello.
Nope. So what's Irish other than Jameson?
The
Guinness.
stuff that's in the coffee.
Kahlua.
Oh, there is Kahlua.
Cream.
There is Irish cream. Bailey's Irish cream. So Kevin gets Kahlua. Brooks gets Irish cream. Kahlua is Mexican. And there's something Italian.
Kahlua Mexican?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Holy shit.
Not Frangelica.
Amaretto.
Steph gets Amaretto. It is Italian.
Cite your sources.
The internet.
All right.
You may have heard of it.
Reliable sources.
All right. So what about non-booze ingredients? Now, remember the last time we had Alaska?
There's more?
Yeah. Remember the last time we had something called Alaska? It had creaminess to it. And we
Milk.
Bailey's.
Cream.
Yes, cream. Whole milk, in fact. Not cream, but whole milk. There is also a frozen treat that's kind of...
Vanilla ice cream.
Exactly that. Vanilla
Holy
ice cream.
shit.
Exactly that. Vanilla ice cream. And where there is milk and ice cream, you also want...
Chocolate syrup.
No, not chocolate syrup.
Cherries.
Cherry on top. And what else do you top
Whipped
it
cream?
with? Whipped cream. Dan gets all of that. Yes, Bailey's, Kahlua, Amaretto, whole milk, vanilla ice cream, whipped cream, and a cherry on
I'm going to
top.
puke in my mouth.
That's why it's called an Alaska Duck Fart Cocktail, I guess.
I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, right?
Save these.
Hold on.
So I can make them later.
Hold on.
Wayne, I have one for you.
All right, let's do it.
What's in a Beer Busters cocktail?
Everything.
Yep.
No, there's legit a cocktail.
I feel like I've heard of that. Is it beer and like whiskey?
No.
Is it beer?
There's 3 ingredients.
Is it beer though?
Beer is one. You get a point.
Anyone
else?
More
Since
beer.
I'm clearly winning this game, I'll give you all points.
Beer.
All right. Well, I get a point. So there's beer. There's not whiskey.
No.
Rum.
Gin. Jägermeister.
No.
Rum.
No.
Dan said rum. No.
No.
Ice cream.
No.
Grenadine.
Bitters.
There's a liquor, a basic liquor.
It's basic liquor.
Vodka.
Gin? Did we ever say gin?
Vodka. Kevin Keller gets a point.
Kevin Keller said vodka first. All right, he's at 2 now.
And there's one other thing that is not alcohol,
Beer,
but is in it should be in all of our fridges.
vodka, and
Orange juice?
Milk.
It's not a juice.
Baking-
it's in a
baking
smaller
soda?
bottle. The fuck?
Hot
Club
sauce.
soda.
Is
What
it
kind though?
tonic?
Frank's hot. Wait, what kind of what?
Hot sauce.
Frank's.
Tabasco.
Frank's
Oh,
Red.
Tabasco?
Tabasco.
Oh, I think Kevin said it first.
He did.
So Kevin's up to 3 points. Little preview of the
Good job,
scores
Kevin
there.
Keller.
Save myself.
There you go. There you go. So, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I put this game together earlier today, and I did intend to have 5 different drinks, but somehow I only put 4 of them in here. So, apologies
You're welcome.
for
I
that.
added the 5th.
But thank you, Steph, for that. I may come back to this game because it was kind of fun to do. Kind of
It
fun
was.
to look up. The hardest part, like I said, was finding drinks that weren't like Dick Sucker and Blowjob on the back seat of my mom's Cadillac or whatever, because that's what most of them are called. And I wanted to find ones that weren't.
Did Mom ever have a Cadillac?
No.
Okay.
I don't think anyone in her family has ever had a Cadillac. So anyway, we're going to add up the scores real quick. I already mentioned Kevin has 3. If we're counting me, I only have 1, so I'm in last place. Kevin comes in next with 3 points. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, Brooks only has 2 points. So Kevin ousted Brooks only with Steph's bonus question. Otherwise, he only had 1 point. So you guys can squabble over whether or not that's legit. Dan had 8 points. Steph, killing it like a boss, 100%. That bitch, 10 fucking points.
Nice.
Yes, 10 goddamn points. Very good showing. So that was a mess, but it was fun. I enjoyed that game. This is, of course, the part of the podcast where we shout out to our most generous patrons on Patreon. We would like to thank very sincerely the following individuals: James Lamberg,
Those holes were filled.
Joe Mansell,
Baby steps.
Dana,
So buttery.
Jill Chivers,
Holy shit, I like aliens.
Sean Sullivan,
Water.
PA Brew Review,
And here he pulls it out.
Mark Modugno,
I want to freeze it and just lick it on the porch.
Topher Simmons,
How big can it get?
Poor Man's Brewing Company,
Bag it up.
Kathy Obashevsky,
Them's my peeps.
Eric Dixon,
Them's my peeps.
again, Nate Fochtman.
Even in the apocalypse, I win.
Oh my God, Dan's got new sound clips and none of you can hear him. Brian Mills,
I love cheese.
Jen McDonald,
I appreciate a good cheese.
Marilyn Engelman,
Don't ever call me that.
Josh Price,
You don't know they're cats.
and finally Ron McDonald.
Shit balls.
Shit balls indeed. If you want to find out how you can get on this list and all the other cool behind-the-scenes perks that we talk about all the time, go to patreon.com/beerbusters. And also, as we've been saying lately, obviously everybody's in a weird state right now. If you have to reduce or stop your patronage for a little while or permanently, whatever, like, we get it. We're not going to be upset. So if your name's on this list and you forgot that you're giving us money and, like, you're on unemployment right now, go ahead and make an adjustment if you need to. That's fine. But if you can support us, we really appreciate it. Again, it's patreon.com/beerbusters.
Here's a commercial.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
Spanish, English, French, German, Italian, Arabic, Chinese, Dari, Dutch, English, Filipino, Greek, Hebrew, Hindi, Indonesia, Irish, Japanese, Korean, Latin, Pashto, Persian, Polish, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, Swahili, Swedish, Turkish, Urdu, and Vietnamese.
You almost landed it.
Fuck. It was close.
I'm going to guess these are the courses that Rosetta Stone offers.
They are. You can learn all of those languages through Rosetta Stone. You've heard of them. They set the standard in how to learn other languages. They have innovative, technology-driven learning solutions that are used by thousands of schools, businesses, government, and other organizations by millions of people around the world. They offer courses in the aforementioned languages. They have apps available on iOS and Android, so you can learn on the go. And right now, Rosetta Stone is offering listeners of Beer Busters podcast a 24-month subscription for less than $8 a month. How do you get that deal? I'm about to tell you, so listen close. Go to rosettapodcast.com/beerbusters. Couldn't be easier. 2 years, less than $8 a month. That is such a deal. Start your language learning journey today at rosettapodcast.com/beerbusters.
What's the ABV on this? Are we gonna die if we drink it?
Is that the Boniface?
No.
Oh, no. I saw the wax top.
Chocolate covered cherries.
Ooh.
It's from Hemauer.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's right.
And there's, and it was a collaboration.
And Gear House.
Yep. Someone's got.
In Gear House.
Yeah, someone I hear has a shirt of theirs.
I think Dan just quit.
Did he rage quit?
No, he's going to get the fucking shirt. He's going in the closet.
Brooks, how the fuck am I supposed to open this?
Doesn't it have one of those pull things? It looked like it had a pull thing.
It's wax. Get a knife out.
No, I'm talking about them with the bottle. I'm not talking about the
You
closet.
got to whittle it out.
Oh, it looked like it had a pull thing.
It's capped. Just got to get the wax off.
Is there a cork in it too? Are you John Stemler?
No, I didn't Stemler you.
If you're Stemlering me, I'm rage quitting.
That's a double Stemler with wax too.
Yeah.
Dan couldn't find the shirt.
Christ, this is some thick ass wax.
Oh, Dan, you got all kinds of sound clips coming right now. Some thick ass wax.
If thick ass wax isn't the name of the episode, I'm going to be sad.
I'm writing it down. Thick ass wax. Dan, that's the episode title. Well, Dan and I are going to crack open another beer.
I got a fresh one as well too.
I'm trying to crack open another beer.
Steph is struggling.
I put Dana on it now.
Here, it's your problem.
No, she said, here, give it to me.
Did I?
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that.
This doesn't have the ABV on it.
Probably high.
Well, the thing is that the brewery arse one we have is definitely 11%. But the other one I have here is the Corporate Monkey Triple from Stolen Sun.
I am drinking the social distancing from Tattered Flag, Pilgaroo, Abomination. The Pilgaroo boys stopped by today and dropped off a couple cans. They just canned it today.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they actually stopped by and they had a complete vertical flight. So they got 8 ounces of every beer that we have on draft.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, we had those guys on. Was it Little Big Beer Fest? We had them on.
Probably.
I feel like it was. That's the only time we ever had them on. That was the first time we ever met them.
Yeah, talking with them today that obviously they're very the things got set back tremendously with the virus with them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they were delayed enough in like permitting and everything that they kind of lucked out that they didn't start construction yet.
Progress.
I'm still working on that
Still
damn bottle.
going.
Here, would you like an update?
You're getting there.
We've resorted to just peeling it off from the bottom.
Soon they're just going to melt the wax again.
Oh!
Nope.
Nailed it.
They've
She
had a
was
breakthrough.
elbowing me in the face.
Yeah, at least it's open. That's all that matters.
So, Brooks,
like that.
now that I've finally gotten this bottle open, why don't you tell us a little bit about chocolate-covered cherries?
So this beer was actually, we first kind of kicked around up at State College, the Brewer Symposium for the Brewers of Pennsylvania, talking with David from Gear House. And actually, funny story, that was I only met him with the long hair. So I went up there.
Hold on. How many stories do you think begin about you with that same line?
I only met him with the line. I remember you telling us about, what was it, the CBC or something you went to after you cut your hair and nobody knew who you were?
This is the same place.
Okay.
Yeah. So going up there all incognito, no one knows who the hell I am. So I walked up to him. I mean, literally we've talked like 5-6 times, so I would imagine he at least somewhat recognized my voice at least. But I walk up to him like, hey, Dave, what's going on? Good. Who are you? Hey, it's Brooke. Holy shit. What the hell? Anyways.
I need to learn that trick, because anytime somebody walks up to me and I don't recognize them, I just pretend that I remember who they are. I just be like, who are you? Have I met you?
Anyway, we're just kind of talking, and he's like, hey, you want to do a collaboration together? I'm like, absolutely. Let's get something started. So he's like, so we kind of were talking, what do we want to do? And I said, well, why don't we do like a Christmas beer? And so at first I was thinking like something like peppermint, something to deal with the holidays, like the candy cane, something like that. And he's like, we had a peppermint beer on, it didn't really sell very well. So he's like, well, why don't we do like a chocolate covered cherries or something like that? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Let's do whatever. I'm like, tell you what, since we're going to do a Christmas beer, let's release this on Black Friday. He's like, that would be great. I said, yeah. I mean, that way it gives people a reason to come into the brewery. We released it down at Gear House on draft as well as in bottles. I snagged a couple bottles, as well as I do have 2 half barrels of it that are sitting in the cooler right now that I'll be putting on at some point. The rest is all history. It was a great time with the group, and I have to thank David, as well as Aaron, his wife, as well as Van and Heather from Gear House. They've been helping out tremendously. Anytime I have a question when it comes to business, when it comes to the brewing, they've been They bailed me out any question I've had. I thank them tremendously, and it's great to see that it's been selling very, very well here. So it's great to see.
Are chocolate-covered cherries a Christmas thing?
Oh, it's delightful.
I didn't realize that was a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people give chocolate-covered cherries as gifts at Christmas.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so there's just a base stout that we added chocolate. There was a chocolatier down in Chambersburg. I forget his name, but we added chocolate to it, and then sweet cherry puree as well too. Turned out very, very, very nice.
It's nice. I like that it's more on the bitter side of the chocolate. It's really tasty.
Yeah, I would love to take all the awards for brewing it, but I would kind of hung out that day and offered any support. I was the grunt, give me something to do. So okay, go ahead and clean out the mash tun. Not a problem. I'll get it taken care of. I just like that I could actually rake it out versus what I have, the old dairy tank where I have to scoop it with a shovel out, and that's
sounds like fun.
It's a good upper body workout, though.
It is, and guess what? Our first brewery upgrade will be.
Yep. Well, you have a lot of experience though, because you've dug all those holes. So the whole shovel thing, like, you got those muscles.
Enough of the holes already.
Oh my god!
We filled them all up.
Masterfully digging holes.
So, Steph, is it reminiscent of the Hershey's Special Dark / Mad Elf Cherry Cordial?
I did that last night, by the way.
I saw that you did that. So it's more of like a nice bitter dark chocolate with the cherries, which I prefer. I think it's
so
quite delicious.
More than like the special, like the Hershey's Dark, like even darker.
Yeah, more like that's what it reminds me of. But Dan, I did see that you did the ultimate mouthgasm the other night.
Yeah,
I did.
He posted it on the internet too.
I did post it on the internet.
Yeah, apparently Dan
Mad Elf
randomly found a
Hershey's
bottle
chocolate.
of Mad Elf.
Oh, there are 3 more down there.
Oh, jeez.
Because when I
on the
where were they from?
Christmas gift from somebody at work.
Oh, I thought we got them
and
somewhere.
at work, we have a candy bowl. So when people's computers break,
before the apocalypse,
we had a candy bowl for when people's computers break. They can just start picking at the candy, and they're a lot less angry at that point. And I bought Hershey's Special Dark in like one of the mixed bags of Hershey's all the shit. But I took 4 pieces of Hershey's Special Dark to bring home because I know I had 4 bottles left, and then I forgot about all of it until last night. It's so good.
It is good. Should do a Hershey's Special Dark and the chocolate-covered cherries from
Do it.
Hemauer.
Do it.
That could be a good
I don't
combo.
have any Hershey's Special Dark.
Send Rich.
We don't have those chocolates.
Oh, I do have dark chocolate, though, actually.
Oh, we're doing an impromptu beer and chocolate pairing.
Because I'm sitting at my desk.
Oh,
where
shit,
I
it's
work.
like literally
It's
right,
right
there.
there. I figured
thought
you
she was
got
going to
that
get up and leave the room. It was like a magic trick. It's like when you pull a quarter out from someone's ear. You just reached off camera, and there it was.
I guess we can do that with beer, though, with us.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
What do you do? Beer, then chocolate, then more beer? I need Greg
We
Worth. I
just
don't
taste the
remember.
beer.
Taste the beer for a
Taste the
second,
chocolate.
taste the chocolate on its own, and then do
A little
both.
bit, and just before it's gone, you wash it, swirl it, wash it. Come on, we've done it so many times.
And yes, we're drinking it from the bottle, if you didn't notice.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. Don't dirty a glass if you don't need to.
Well, I still have the ESB.
Ah.
And that deserves to be savored.
But yeah, I didn't want to chug that, and I wanted to make sure we talked about this on the episode proper.
Fuck, I'm probably going to go to Buchanan.
You guys need to, once everything gets settled down, you guys need to make a trip down to Chambersburg and
Oh yeah.
see them. Like, their place is just amazing. The renovation and I think it was an old train station or like a car repair, train car repair facility. I can't quite remember, but the place is really, really nice. A lot of wide floorboards and exposed beams, things like that. It's beautiful.
I've been there once, and it's been a while. I really want to go back.
Yeah. Plus, great beer as well too. David's an amazing brewer, and
it's nice.
Upper Noah.
It's nice that there's now another. Like I've loved Roy Pitts for a really long time. Their Ludwig's Revenge is one of my favorite beers, and I remember when Roy Pitts was just in the basement of the building they're in now, where it was a tiny little tap room in the basement. So it's nice to see that there's another brewery worth driving to Chambersburg for. Now, for you, Brooks, it's not quite as far, but for us, it is a little bit of a haul to get down there.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's a good hour as well, too.
Yeah.
Get there.
By the way, dark chocolate with your beer goes really well.
Great.
It just enhances that nice bitterness of the chocolate, which I really love.
You should try that. I haven't had the beer since probably Black Friday last year.
Sounds like you need to crack a bottle open right now.
He's like, no, I'm going to sell that bottle.
Plus, I got rent to pay here and keep the lights on in the cooler on.
Do you have to order ahead online, or can you just show up and like knock on the door and be like, "Hey, I'd like this"?
You can just walk right in. Okay. Usually there's the loud scream of mask.
Mask.
Boys to put their mask on because they're too busy playing Roblox or watching YouTube or playing Minecraft. So just trying to keep everyone safe.
That's funny. But yes, you can just walk in and order something and leave.
Yeah, I mean, you can order online. And like I said before, that a lot of people want to come in just to see the place because they've seen it online. So we still don't even have our sign above our door yet, or on the pilot. Well, because the sign company was shut down for COVID-19.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
I just received a phone call today from the owner of the sign company. Says we're all good to go. So hopefully, maybe within a week, maybe two.
I mean,
because there's a couple of people have said like, I would have never known you were here, but your car with with the name is on your car for deliveries, and the open sign, would never have known you're here.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure you have some Sharpies and cardboard lying around.
Well, I mean, we had the sign. We had the signs that saying future home of, so we just kind of scribbled that out.
Oh, the future home. Yeah.
But as you're driving past, you really can't see it. So, and especially because this particular unit has been empty for 15 plus years.
Wow. Yeah.
So I mean, nothing has been here before.
That's a good
so
point. Yeah.
Everyone's just even like they'll park in front of the door and like just go to the Chinese food place right next to us, not even knowing that someone's actually here.
That place you never noticed because it's been empty for 15 years? That's where it is.
Yeah.
Did we mention during anything that was actually probably going to be in the episode, Dan and I are now drinking Corporate Monkey, the triple from Stolen Sun. I feel like we did, but I wasn't sure. So I just wanted to bring it up now.
I think we did, and then me being stupid was like, I'll find a way creatively edit this.
All right, well, I'm saying it now. So now it's in this portion.
Yeah.
Kevin is still on his first beer of the day.
I am not. I am on something else.
What are you drinking now?
Miller High Life.
No, it'd be a Coors Banquet, if anything.
Damn it.
Yay, Coors Banquet.
It's the bakery series from the brewery. It's the banana bread beer.
Banana bread. We had that, didn't we?
It's a blended imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with walnuts, banana, and natural flavors added.
Ooh, natural flavors, my favorite kind of flavors.
How does it compare to Wells Banana Bread?
It's more boozy just because of the bourbon. I mean, it's good. It's 10%, so it's a bigger beer. But like Wells is the quintessential banana bread beer. It doesn't quite stack up to that, I think, for nostalgia's sake. But I mean, it's still pretty good. The walnuts you definitely get the walnuts in it, which is pretty interesting.
Wells Banana Bread beer is the standard for that kind of beer.
I don't think it's called Wells anymore.
Really?
I think they changed the name of the brewery. Either Wells or Young's changed.
Well, they were essentially one and the same.
Yes.
Because didn't Wells buy Young's? Is that what it was? It was some kind of merger between the two. And then, if I remember correctly, AB InBev distributes them to the U.S.
Probably. I keep thinking, and maybe I'm getting this, didn't Boddington's have a...
They were definitely AB InBev, because I wrote an article on that 7 years ago.
I remember that. But was Boddington's not the banana bread? Was that two different things that I'm putting together in my head?
I think they were two different things.
Okay.
It's now Eagle Brewery banana bread beer.
Eagle Brewery banana bread beer.
They changed the branding too, because when you go to a beer store, it looks a lot different because we all know what that bottle looks like.
Oh, I see the can dance on the website now. The can looks different.
No, that's still the Wells brand though.
It even says
that logo on the
formerly
left
Charles Wells.
Also still says Wells.
No, but that logo, like I specifically remember that.
Oh yeah, it's an iconic logo at this point.
I don't think I've ever had it.
What did you say it was, Kevin?
Really?
Eagle?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it.
You've never had
Eagle
this?
Brewery.
No, I'm pretty sure I haven't.
It's
I've also
really
never
good.
seen The Godfather. Everyone want to pile on me for that
All right,
too?
neither have I. Neither have I.
What the hell's The Godfather?
But as of 2 weeks ago, I did see John Wick. Totally worth a watch.
Oh, nice. I've heard it's good.
I own it. It's on my Amazon if you want to watch it.
All right.
I feel like we're ready to wrap this up and go on the last call. I'm just saying.
Probably, but I'm still looking at this.
Oh, okay. Steph
Ew.
sent the yeah. I actually kind of like that.
I don't. I'm just so.
That's
Is
because
my
you guys
name
had
Kevin
such
Keller?
you guys had such a nostalgia hard on for the original.
It's
and I didn't.
derivative of the other one, yes, and it may be a modern take on it, but it's just you can't fucking change.
You
that.
can't do that. You just
You can't really stick your whole thumb in there.
Childhood ruin.
All right, so for people out there, Brooks, who may want to find you online, where can they find you?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as our website, hemauerbrewingco.com. You can order online as well as stop on by, say hi.
All right.
And the online ordering platform is very easy to use.
And by the time this episode airs, there's a chance people might be able to come in and actually drink there. If not right now, very soon.
Probably
But
not.
no more than 24 people at a time.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see.
So take 23 of your closest friends.
Yeah, that's the thing about recording episodes in this weirdness, because podcast time's weird to begin with, but with everything changing so quickly, like we're 2 weeks out from the time of recording to release. Who knows what things are going to be like in 2 weeks, you know? But yeah, go there. I mean, maybe you can sit down and have a beer. If not, you can at least take some to go.
That is true. And
they will probably at least have a sign by then.
Hopefully.
And you said you were open 6 days a week, currently except for Monday, excluding Memorial Day, because this will air after that. When are you open on said days?
Right now, at this point, it's still tentative. We're still trying to figure out when is our best utilized opportunity to be open. Right now, currently, as we are recording, we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 7:30 p.m., and then on Sunday from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. But that is subject to change.
Go to the aforementioned places. Find Hemauer Brewing online. It is totally worth it. And, you know, life is weird out there right now, and clearly we all want to drink more. So.
A wise man once said, "Life is hard, and so am I."
Giggity.
God damn.
Sorry, continue.
Buy beer from Brooks.
Is that the Eels? Is that the name of the band?
Maybe.
Is that actually a thing?
It's a song.
Novocaine
for the soul.
You know the dude from Eels? His dad was the scientist that formed the many worlds theory.
Yes.
I can see the look in your eyes, Steph, that so clearly says, I don't fucking care.
Anyway.
My back hurts.
Oh, gee, I wonder what that's like.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so yes, go to the aforementioned places, buy beer from Brooks. Every beer I've had from Hemauer is fucking incredible, and I can't wait to have more, and I hope you get to experience it soon, and pay attention to when things open back up, and be one of the 24 people that can go to his brewery and drink the beer in person.
24 and a half.
Kevin Keller, where should people go to find out more about your
wait.
stuff? I know, I was getting to that.
We'll splice that in. So Evil Genius Beer, well, the job that pays me, Evil Genius Beer, on Instagram. We're doing a lot of cool stuff. We just introduced beer delivery. We're kind of changing up some of the stuff we do at the lab. We're introducing like limited crowler labels, which is really cool. A lot of fun TV references coming up soon, so that'll be cool. And then Prototype is Prototype Brewery on Instagram, also on Facebook. Those are our two main sources of information. Also, the Beer Busters podcast has become the quintessential breaking news source of Prototype information as well. So
I feel so bad for you and Prototype if that's really the case.
Well,
in that vein,
I think he was trying to segue.
We were talking about this earlier, and we need to know: are there any updates on the event that was supposed to happen the same day I was going to go see Weezer?
Yes. So Weezer was canceled.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Postponed.
I'm literally looking at Dan's tickets right now.
He is.
Are there teardrops on them?
No, I have a spot right in front of my my light switch on my wall that has all my concert tickets, and this has been up there for a while. And it so clearly says Hella Megatour, 8/29/2020, Citizens Bank Park, but that is now going to end up being in August of 2021 because fuck life.
Yeah, so
something else isn't happening this year.
I know.
Yeah, so we collectively decided to again postpone, because I like using that word better than cancel. We're postponing the Prototype Invitational until April of next year, 2021. There's just too many unknown variables right now, and we felt that we couldn't provide for the product that we wanted to portray. So
can you do me a favor?
No.
Can you consult with Weezer before you pick a date?
Well, if it's going to be in April, they won't be here in April. Kevin, it's a very responsible decision to make, and while it sucks that it won't be happening this year, because I was looking forward to it, it's good to know that you're keeping the health and safety of everyone in mind with it, and that just means we're going to have to party harder in April of 2021.
Yeah, as long as we're all not locked in our basements hiding from murder hornets at the time.
Yeah.
You will definitely be there. Yeah, because there was a little scheduling conflict with it getting postponed and kind of shifted around the first time, where like we were going to be there and then we couldn't be there, and then so now like we've got plenty of notice. So
yeah, and with it moving to 2021, like we had a lot of things we wanted to do, but we couldn't do because A, time, and B, being locked in our houses. So we're going to actually do some of those cool things that it's going to make it 20 times better.
Cool.
It's definitely going to be worth it.
Suggestion: get Weezer to play.
Oh,
we'll get a
solved.
Weezer tribute band.
Honestly, I saw a Weezer cover band out of
even better
in where the fuck was that? Scranton. They were really good.
My buddy's the drummer. So the drummer for that band is the Great Lakes rep for Eastern PA.
Wait, seriously?
Look at that. Small world, man.
Yep.
Well, my friends.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Unfortunately, my friend.
What's the name of this
Why
band?
don't we talk about this in last call?
God damn it. Fine. We'll talk about it
if you want to find out more.
Hold that thought. If you want to find out more.
Brooks has something to say.
Oh, he does? Sorry.
I just wanted to mention that when this airs, we should have our Altogether IPA collaboration with Mellow Mink available in 16-ounce cans,
awesome.
As well as I do believe we're going to have it on draft as well too for 32-ounce as well as 8-ounce crowlers. We're actually donating part of the proceeds to the HARP organization, which is the Hospitality Assistance Response of PA. So that should be on here, hopefully, with right when this episode airs or a week afterwards.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool.
I'll stay posted for all that. Follow all of Brooks' aforementioned social media and websites and such. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Always fun.
Yeah,
of course
it is, man. Brooks, thank you for taking time out of what I'm sure is actually a very busy schedule, being a business owner who has opened up his brewery 3 weeks ago during the middle of a global pandemic. But hey, man, more power to you. I look forward to drinking your stuff as long as I can, and we will get out there and record a proper podcast at your brewery when the world opens back up.
Yeah, thanks for having me once again, and we'll all get through this. It's just a matter of time, and we'll all get together, have ourselves a great beer and a great time together. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, indeed. Well, unfortunately, this does bring us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters. Things are strange outside. Take a moment to just, sit back, enjoy one of your favorite brews that you can. And, talk to people that you can online. Reach out to family members, friends, see how they're doing. It's weird for all of us. But Brooks said it. We will get through. We have to get through. We're going to get through. Well, hey, my name is Dan Baker. I am joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hoffner.
And, of course, the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
And the guy who cried at Old Yeller,
Kevin Keller.
Kevin Keller.
Dan Baker.
Also, Dan Baker in 5th grade when he first saw it for the first time. No squids were harmed.
Wow.
We'll see you next time.
Masterfully digging the hole.
Cheers.